Hey everyone, I'm Justin Graves, young adult pastor here at First Ridgeland.
And I'm Derek Cowan, the executive pastor here at First Ridgeland.
This year we have a focus ministry theme, and we'll be releasing a podcast to keep us focused. So
we'd like to welcome you to the Focus Podcast.
Let's get started.
Welcome to the Focus Podcast, where we have real conversations about living undistracted lives that last.
All right, well, here we go. A podcast for our church to help us focus all throughout the year and eliminate distractions, because my goodness, our whole world is completely distracting. I was distracted driving here this morning, and I'm embarrassed to admit that, but the phone vibrates. Somebody cuts out in front of you. I get an alert and I see the light flash and boom, I'm totally distracted. So how do we combat this distraction and stay focused on what matters in a world full of distractions?
Yeah, what's really scary is that there have been more times than not where I've gotten to my house and pulled in my driveway and not remember driving home.
I'm not the only one that does that.
No, I think it's a real thing. We were actually talking about this in Life Group Sunday.
Yeah.
How people literally have jobs whose sole purpose is to keep you distracted when you think about that.
Have you ever, so speaking of driving places, have you ever seen like a billboard on the side of the road, like the law office billboard, and they're made to take your attention? And that used to be like the primary form of distraction. But now it's in your pocket all the time.
Yeah.
It's on your tablet. It's in your screens. It's everywhere. It's literally everywhere. And if it's not on your screens, it's certainly on your kids' screens. And here's a trick I've tried, but there's too many ways out of it, to put the phone limits on my screen time for like Instagram and Facebook. Maybe I'll just do it for an hour. But the problem is you can override that anytime you want. And there I go, distracted again. So I want to read a little bit of scripture and maybe help us focus in on not being distracted. But maybe one of the best examples of distracted living, when there was a clear opportunity to be focused on Jesus, was Mary and Martha. Right? Like Mary and Martha in scripture, Jesus comes to town and one of them is sitting at Jesus's feet. The other is busy. She's distracted doing this and cleaning and preparing.
Well, they had to eat.
Somebody got to cook.
Right. So which one are you? Are you Mary or Martha?
So it depends on the situation.
Yeah.
I think it depends on the situation, because I'm so good just sitting. But then I think my body could be Mary, my mind would be Martha.
Yeah.
Which may be a whole other issue we're talking about, that it's very hard to still your mind, to be still and know that he is God. Come on, somebody. Okay, so Luke 10, verse 38. I'm just going to read maybe two of the verses. And we all know this story, but this is more of a refresher. As Jesus and the disciples continued on their way to Jerusalem, they came to a certain village where a woman named Martha, and honestly, I get these mixed up. I forget which one is distracted and which one's not. Maybe I should focus in on that a little bit more. So, named Martha welcomed him into her home. Her sister Mary, it was Mary, sat at Jesus' feet, listening to what he taught. And now, so we assumed that she was the only one listening, but Martha was listening too. She was just working, right? So, but Martha was distracted. There we go. By the dinner party, she was preparing. She came to Jesus and said, "Lord, doesn't it seem unfair to you that my sister just sits while I'm out here doing all the work? Tell her to come and help me." So she's saying, "Lord, I'm focused. She's not." When Mary might say the exact opposite. So here's a good question. What do you think was going through Mary's mind when she's willing to let go of the food and the distraction from the kitchen and just sit there and be with Jesus? What set her free mentally, psychologically, to be present in that moment?
I'm glad we are even talking about this, because I love the way the sermon series was set up as we introduced the ministry theme this year. And one of the first sermons just said, you'll never be able to focus unless you have your priorities set. And because Mary's priority were set and that priority was in the room, it was pretty easy for her to filter out anything that was of lesser value.
Yeah.
So I think that's a lesson to all of us, just that unless we have our priorities set, we'll never be able to focus in a way that produces the results we desire. And I love what the church has done this year, we have a life map under firstchristian.org/focus that can help you filter out everything that will come at you to distract you this year by having some spiritual goals, some financial goals, some personal goals, relational goals. And I think that's just a good tool for us to be able to use to filter out all the noise that's going to come at us this year. It's not a matter of if it will come at us. It's a matter of when, because it's going to come.
You ever notice that it seems to come at the absolute worst time? Like my mind starts to race when I lay down to go to bed at night.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I got meetings in the morning and important things to do. And the last possible time that I have availability to be distracted, that's when it comes, man.
Yeah, absolutely. It came at me this morning when I was getting ready to come over and do this podcast. I was like, hey, I want to make sure that PDF is on the website.
It's ready to go.
Yeah, and then got a couple texts and got busy with the text. Then I'm looking at my screen. I'm like, wait, now what was I doing on here? I don't even remember why. Oh, yeah.
Well, you must have done something right because I actually have one right here.
Awesome.
No, it's really good. I'm just going to read maybe some high points of it. So, hey, good line. This year will be what we make it. So let's make it count. And just like Derek just said, we got spiritual health, physical health, financial, relational. And for our super organized, very focused people, we got 1, 2, 3 bullet points underneath each one. I hope they use this resource. This is so good. Actually, I talked with our middle school pastor last night about this very thing. So imagine how he can help our middle school and Logan help our high school get focused in their totally distracted world. So here's some questions. Who do I want to become? What habit do I need to start? What habit do I need to stop? Who is holding me accountable? Because New Year's resolutions, they're just dreams if there's no accountability. And is my goal specific, measurable, and achievable? And I think my problem with that is I tend to have goals that are like maybe 4 years down the road, and I'm trying to do them in 4 months. And that's just, I need to focus in on what is actually realistic to be accomplished. So you mentioned the word filter a second ago. I love what Dr. Bird put on the screen maybe a couple sermons ago that had the 4 quadrants, and it was like what's urgent, what's important but not urgent, and what can be delegated, what's totally not important, what's not urgent, but it is a massive distraction. That was helpful for me, and it kind of set me free to think, okay, well, this needs to be done, but it doesn't need to be done now, and it doesn't have to be done by me. So how can I let that go? It might be a priority, but it doesn't need to be at the top of my list.
Yeah, another reason I love the theme for the year is because if you think about it in like a microcosm, all of us have gotten to the end of a day and we've been like, I don't even know what I did today. Much less what I did that mattered today.
Right.
And so if you let that billow into a week of that, a month of that, a year of that, and that becomes your norm, just going through life, going through the motions, I mean, it's inevitable that you're going to be unfulfilled, much less feel like you're making a difference.
Yeah.
So for a year spent on focusing on what matters, the tagline I love too, undistracted living that lasts.
It's perfect.
Making sure we're making the decisions, saying the yeses and inevitably the nos that lead to an eternal impact. That's what we're after this year.
So I think it was Dr. Bird said it a few days ago, is what you're doing now going to matter in 100 years?
Yeah.
I think I heard him say that privately and behind closed doors a couple weeks ago, and then he says it up front. I'm like, man, that's a good litmus test.
Yeah.
Like, is this thing that I'm stressing over now am I even going to remember it in a week? Much less, is it making a dent in eternity?
And it's so much better to ask that before rather than after when you're dealing with the regret. You're mad about something. Hey, is this going to matter next week? Is this going to matter next month? Is this going to matter next year? Hey, great filter. So that you don't have to waste your time and be filled with regret.
So you reminded me of, we had a celebration of life service here a few days ago. And this gentleman had been totally committed to the Lord, to his family, faithful life group leader. He's a leader of men. And I was just thinking about his life. And Derek, I had some of our 60-plus-year-old men come up to me at the service, tears in their eyes, saying, I wish I had more time with him. He changed my life forever. And I left it just in reflecting about this man and his life and the legacy that he left. I was honored to be a part of that service. And I thought, man, we all need to live lives that make it easy on the preacher when we are at our celebration of life service. We want to live a life that makes a difference and that lasts, and that I told the people that is full of God moments, not just good moments, but everybody has fun, lighthearted stories. We want to live a life that's focused on living way past the present moment into something that's going to make an eternal difference. So let's get practical for a few moments. What can we do? What can our people do on maybe a daily basis or a weekly basis to check in and ask themselves, did I do something that mattered? Or maybe on a daily basis to think, okay, am I distracted or am I focused on things that will last?
Yeah, somebody told me something one time, and I won't forget it, because they said it like this: lack of focus isn't necessarily a character issue. It's a systems issue, which is great news because it can be fixed. One of the reasons I love the life map that's on the website is that, hey, we can filter everything through this. It can be fixed. So in a very practical way, fill that out and then look at it every week. Hey, am I closer to this? Is what I'm doing?
Because you can print out multiple of these if you want to.
You can change them. You can fix them. But just to know that it is a systems issue. It's what I'm saying yes to, what I'm saying no to.
Yeah.
And then another thing to remember is that environment beats discipline, where it's like, hey, I'm going to accomplish this week. So if my phone is what's distracting me, I can environmentally change that. I can put it in another room for a designated period of time. We did that as a family for a little while last year during Lent, and it was a game changer for us just to be able to hey, no screens between these hours. Where we actually knew each other existed.
Hey, I love it.
They're upstairs, downstairs. I got kids everywhere, but just,
might be at the neighbor's house.
It is amazing to see how much more we interacted with each other as a family when the screens weren't involved, and we can do that. I think we like to think, we're pastors. We're always on call. We get text. I mean, it's just a part of the job.
Part of it. Yeah.
But everybody has an hour or two that they can be away from their phone.
My goodness. I think as pastors and for our leaders in our church, we need to be the ones setting that example and making that a total priority. Let me tell you something that changed my life. I don't know if I ever told you this, but something that totally changed my life was I was in a point several years ago where I wasn't sleeping good, where charge my phone literally on my nightstand. So Casey would go to sleep on this side. I'd roll over, try to go to sleep. Oh, I can't sleep. Pick up my phone, and then it's, blue screen, scrolling. Then, 12, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock comes, and I'm still just sitting there.
Yeah.
And it's nothing bad. It's like sports highlights or just crazy facts. We've all been down the stupid rabbit holes. Life changer for me was charging my phone in a different room.
Yeah.
So if there's a family emergency, Casey's got hers, she'll wake up to it, or we'll both hear it. But just taking time to charge at another room. So when I roll over, no more blue screens. I'm actually waking up rested and refreshed, and I'm good for my meetings and for the people that need me to be good for my family. Super, just a routine, a system put in place. There's a coach one time that said, you will fall to the level of your, maybe that's Craig Rochelle, fall to the level of your systems.
Yeah.
So you have to have the checks and balances and systems in place to catch you when you do.
That's just another example of how your environment, either helps or hurts you.
Falling out of your environment way more.
So we could probably do good to think about, hey, what have I allowed into my environment at home, at work, on the way to work, wherever it is, that is not helping me to accomplish my goals.
I agree totally. So on that note, one of our questions on this Focus 2026 Life Map is, what habit do I need to stop, or what is holding me, who is holding me accountable? So it's interesting that I had to stop charging, having my phone on me at every second of every day. But in order to, add something to your life, you have to edit something away. So in order to add like a discipline, you need to take some excuse away. For me to add a really solid, rested, healthy day the next day, I had to edit out so much screen time during the day. So maybe if we have somebody that's wanting to be more focused on, let's say, their prayer time, well, you can't create an additional 15 minutes in a day, but you could find a 15-minute block of time where it's naturally recurring in your rhythm, naturally recurring in your day, where you can eliminate distractions, take something out, and slow down for a bit, not recreate, the calendar, but add in a block of time where for this 15 minutes, I'm not doing anything but praying. I might turn on some worship music, but I'm going to focus on praying. So here's something practical. Good Spotify worship playlist. We actually have a focus worship playlist. We could probably link it to this episode. I've listened to it, Derek. It's phenomenal. Good. It's so good. I turned that thing on the other day and immediately was focused on worship and prayer. So, we do every single day. A lot of our people, we drive to the grocery store, we drive to work, we're in the kids' carpool line. And from the second the kid's out of the car until I get to my work or back to the house, that might be 10, 15 minutes where Spotify playlist, I'm focused on Jesus for these 10 to 15 minutes. And what a way to say, Lord, from 8:00 until the rest of this day, I'm starting out focused on you. Because Dr. Bird famously says, in order to end with God, you have to begin with God.
Yeah.
So easy, super easy. Let's use this as a checklist, this focused life map. Maybe let's eliminate some screen time. Let's be present with the family when the family's around. Tell the kids we're not having screens right now. We're going to focus on each other, focus on what will last. Because whatever that TikTok trend is, it won't be there in 24 hours.
100%.
And maybe in the morning doing something just small and saying, there's no news right now for me. There's no sports talk right now. I'm turning on my worship playlist. Hadley's out of the truck. From that 5-10 minute drive, I'm locking in. I'm focused on the Lord. God, whatever you want from me today, that's what I want to have. I'm totally focused on you. So I think we're almost at our time limit for this very first of several episodes. What is, let's say, one goal to go along with our flow sheet here? What's my goal what's my goal that's specific, measurable, and achievable? Maybe one that we set for the year that our people can focus on for starting in January throughout the rest of this year. I'll share one of mine that maybe somebody can grab on to. If you have something you want to add it in. So one of my goals every single year, read through the Bible in an entire year. Easily done. Research says that a little over 12 minutes a day, you can read the entire Bible in a year. So 12 minutes a day is about 3.5 chapters a day, and that gives you time to miss a day or two and break your streak on the YouVersion app and jump back in, and you're still able to read through the entire Bible. So one of my goals this year, same as last year and previous years, read through the entire Bible, 12 minutes a day, and it's done. And even though I've read it before, it stays fresh, keeps me focused on the Lord all throughout the day. So maybe somebody out there, starting this month, you're not too far behind. I'm going to read the Bible.
That's great. Yeah, it doesn't. When you do it every day, it doesn't take that long. Yeah, it's a system.
It's absolutely a system.
I'll share one of mine. Last year, I started, weight training, and I hate cardio, hate it so much, and even had a couple of trainers like, hey, you don't have to do. I see you gassing out because you've been doing your cardio first. You don't have to do it. So as a result, I quit doing it altogether.
That's wonderful.
Not. No. So this year, my goal is to get my steps in every day. So that's what I'm focused on.
I got a system for you.
What is
ready
it?
for this system? We just
walk to work.
Yeah. Walk from the back of Reunion all the way past that traffic. And we'll just have ambulance.
I might actually get here faster if I did walk to work some days.
Didn't you used to have a Vespa?
I know what I'm talking about. No, I really did. It's just so fun. I got super economical one year. This was probably I worked at the church. And this may have been 16 years ago. And I bought, another church member was selling their Yamaha moped. And I was like, hey, I could save so much money. This is good. I'm going to just do this little moped to work. I lived in Summer Tree then, so it wasn't that far to come down Highland Colony. Anyway, one day I decided, and I put my little dog on the little where you put your feet.
Yeah. I'm picturing
Anyway.
this. This is so good.
I drove to work one day on it, and I smelled so bad by the time I got here because it was in the summer.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
My hair was all messed up. I was like, okay, so we're not driving to work anymore. So then I was like, hey, we'll just, use it for leisure.
Yes.
So my buddy lived out in Lake Caroline, and one day I said, I'm gonna just drive to his house. So I put Spencer in between me, started driving out there. I had a line, it would only go like 30 miles per hour.
Yeah.
I had a line of cars a mile long behind me. And then my phone rings and we're like, is that you on that moped? You were holding
That's so
traffic all the
good,
way to
man.
Lake Caroline. So, I had
this-
to retire the moped.
here's what's happening right now. Somebody's watching or listening to this and just had a flashback from a decade and a half ago.
Yeah.
And was like, that day I was late to work.
That was
Derek Cowan on that stupid moped.
Well, good news, I got rid of it. So
Hey,
we don't have to worry about it anymore.
Won't he do it?
Well, he will. He will.
Well, hey, this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I hope it serves our church and our community. I know it will. And maybe this is that accountability piece. I know it is for me. Where if I have a goal, maybe it's reading the Bible, something in weight training, whatever it is, I'm just gonna be more apt to do it if someone's checking in on me. So let's consider this a check-in to help our folks focus on things that last this year. It's been good.